Good morning, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for our top secrets to successful community automations. Today we're going to be covering several powerful automations that will really help you generate new leads, convert your leads to tours and closings, increase your partner referrals, and totally lower the cost of your expenses. The truth is, we have taken all these automations that we're going to share with you, and of course we've built them into Advantage Anywhere. That's why we built them. I'm Mona Hilton, CEO of Advantage Anywhere. We exist to help you get better results from your marketing and sales and property for your communities. My goal today is to give you a competitive edge on your issues and give you something that's going to help you with your marketing and your sales. So, if using smart automations could actually change your marketing and sales results, perhaps by giving you better lead generation efforts, closing new prospects, increasing your partner referrals, and actually lowering your cost of expenses, would you be willing to take advantage of automations? Would you try them? Today I'm going to share with you how you can use automations to shift your team into extraordinary things, getting you big time speed to leads, and even accelerate your marketing and sales efforts. What do you think? You ready to get started? We're going to get right into this. So picture it. It is June 2008. I was working on our marketing project, and all of a sudden I got a call from someone who said his name was Gary Gold. So Gary starts telling me how he's working with really high-end buyers in Beverly Hills, including celebrities such as Barbara Streisand. And we start to continue talking, and all of a sudden Gary realizes he's about to have a prospect meeting. And he asks, hey, could you give me a call at 3 o'clock p.m. his time, which of course was PST, and at 6 o'clock my time, which is EST. So we started on our conversations, and when we were done, I started Gary on our automations, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. And then I went back to my marketing project. Unfortunately, I didn't have the sense to look up to see who Gary was online or what he did for a living. It came back to bite me. So at 6 o'clock, I made the call. Now keep in mind, it's after hours. I was a little, relaxed. And all of a sudden, Gary answers the phone. He says, hey, Mona, I just noticed that your last name is Hilton. Are you related to Paris Hilton? I said to Gary, you know what, Gary? It's a good thing you're way out there in California, because I've promised to deck the next time someone asks me that question. There was all of a sudden this really long pause, and Gary says, hey, Mona, my boss is her dad. I said, oh no, what? I looked him up. Sure enough, his dad was Hilton and Highland. That's exactly what I thought too. He told me if I could make them follow up with their clients the way I did with him, they were definitely going to be a client. So the moral of my story is always do your research. And follow up with automation that could save your skin, which it did for me. And the third one is never ever mess with a Hilton. You got it? So I'm sure because of automation, Gary ended up becoming a client. So one thing I want to share with you is how automations can increase your sales and revenue, right? Let's talk about those 4 ways to grow. The first one, of course, is increase your lead generation. This is so very important. You can't grow if you don't have good quality leads. However, this can also be really expensive. You can do SEO, you can do natural or organic lead generation, you can purchase leads from third parties, you can do social media campaigns, and so many more. But today, I'm going to show you how you can use your own website to generate leads and bypass some of those third-party leads that you're paying simply an arm and a leg for. You can also increase the leads you're getting, the close ratios. So this is probably the easiest way and most consistent way to generate leads. So as an example, if you have, say, perhaps 100 leads in a month, many communities close about 30 to 60% of them, depending on where you're at. But if you can, using automation, increase them to 80% of them, for example, or 85% of them, you've generated about $6 or $8 or $10,000 additional per month. And up until now, your lead closing can be dependent on the people that you have. Depending on how busy they are, how many other things that they have to do, it can be really different based on their sales skills each of them have. So today we're going to talk to you about how to use automation to get more closing from leads that you do have. The third one, of course, is increasing your leads from partners and referrals. So, for example, if you're using outreach or other items to generate leads, we will show you how to automate your responses to partner referrals to get more consistent and more frequent referrals from them. And then the third piece is decreasing your expenses. So this is one that everyone gets all worried about because it could mean reducing your employees. But that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to explain and how you can find really easy ways to decrease your expenses, basically your tools, and make your existing teams so much more productive and so much less stress for them. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about what to do if you have additional leads. This can be really expensive, as I mentioned earlier. You can do SEO, you can do all kinds of things to get leads into your website. Generally speaking, there are 3 ways to generate website social media leads. Now, keep in mind, small to mid-sized communities get about 10 to 15 new leads per month from your website and your social media. Now, this is in general. Of course, it depends on where you're at, what geographic location you have. And of course, if you have a very high, strong marketing communities for your month, you can get maybe 50 to 150 of those leads per month. So let's say that you're getting, on average, about 3 to 7% of those leads who actually become tours and eventually become inquiries. That's really what we're after. So let's talk about what we call the speed to lead. So how long do you think it takes for your new leads, whether they're website, social media, to receive follow-up? That's what speed to lead means. How long does it take for you to follow up with those leads? The fun fact is that your leads come in from a number of different areas, including website, lead magnets, SEO, SEM, Facebook, social media, pay-per-click, those kinds of things, content marketing, and other third-party leads. The reality is, if you will contact your web leads within 5 minutes, that means if you reach out to your leads within 5 minutes of them reaching out to you, you are 100 times, not 100%, 100 times more likely to get to them than if you wait 30 minutes or more. Why? Well, because the lead just reached out to you. So you're reaching out to them when it's really important to them. Because the lead actually happens where it happens. And your competition may or may not have gotten the lead, but they haven't followed up with them yet. So in our opinion, you should reach out to your leads in less than 5 minutes if you want to get to them. In our demo website called Genesis Estates, we have several ways that you could take advantage of your leads and turn your visitors into possible leads. Now, one thing we feel does not work is your Contact Us page. So when they go to your Contact Us page, there might be an opportunity for them to put that information, but anyone who is responsible for those Contact Us pages can tell you that they're not really designed for sales or high quality leads. You know, people who are looking for anything, whether it's job inquiries or general inquiries or even a random person looking to sell you something, that's where they go. So it's not a great way to get brand new leads. Now, in fact, most people find that general leads don't really use the Contact Us page because they're not very good early stage lead generators. So in the likelihood that they are researching you, they know what they want, they've narrowed down their search and are close to the buying stage, they can use Contact Us. But the reality is, most people who are looking for that are looking to they've practically selected you. You don't want leads that late. You want them earlier when they're just looking for information. And they're looking for information that will help them make a decision. Now, new leads who have not already picked your community won't go to the contact because they're intimidating. Anyone who goes on that knows that once they complete that page, you're going to be all over them like white on rice, if you will. And that's not really what they're after. Most people want a compelling reason to fill out your Contact Us page. So what we did is we created a sales assessment. It's right here on the front page. It's called A Senior Living Right for You. So when they click on that, it takes them to a questionnaire, think of it as a sales assessment, that does many things. The first thing is there's usually less than 7-10 questions on here. And we have them all on one page because of what they call the 3-click rule. That says every time you make someone go to another page, you lose about 30% of your audience. So we want to make sure that we have everything we need right here. And although these questions will help your sales counselors know what to ask for, they also help your leads understand what's been hidden under the table. Maybe there are things that they don't want to talk about, like how often they have a good meal or how often they eat, those kinds of things that they might not be comfortable talking to you about. There's also a big carrot, as you can see here, Senior Living Guide. That carrot is really designed to capture them. You could have a Senior Living Guide, you could have a cap or a t-shirt that gets them into your community so you can meet with them personally, or any other kind of tchotchke you might have. So the best part is, when they complete that form, your speed to lead kicks in. They're instantly entered into what we call your Advantage Anywhere system, and all these things that you see here are about to happen. They're entered into the system, they automatically get launched on a nurture, what we call a task-o-matic, which I'll show you in a minute. They get notified to someone. The sales follow-up advancement begins, and their marketing source code is also tracked, and the lead gets managed on through their system. So let me show you an example of what that automated nurture campaign is. So instantly, within seconds of them going into your system, they instantly get started on what we call an automated nurture campaign. There could be all kinds of things. These are emails that are set up according to your status. The first one, we usually like to do a video, and we'll talk about video here in a moment, that you noticed, the confidential assessment that they filled out. And then usually a day or 2 or 3 days later, they get a brand recognition email that you're in good hands, or they get testimonials of different residents you have are very happy. They get, a senior living comparison info, or they get another video that includes how to schedule their tour, how to work with them, those kinds of things. Other kinds of what we call brand assessment, where they're getting to know more about you, but they're also addressing topics that they thought are difficult, like, is it really safe to live there? And then all kinds of other things that make that happen. This is what we call nurturing your system with educational, testimonials, brand recognition, videos like you see here. And I'm going to show you a quick little video that I made for you so you can kind of see what that looks like.
Hey there, I noticed you just clicked through. My name is Mona Hilton, and I cannot wait to meet you in person. In the meantime, below are a number of free resources that I think you will enjoy, and I will be in touch with you shortly. Talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.
So let's go back to our Genesis Estates website. Keep in mind that everything that I'm about to show you includes a lot of the things we showed you, including nurturing those leads depending on where they come back from. So let's go back to lifestyle options and let's go to availability. If you wanted to, you could share all the different properties that you might have available in your system, and they can click on whatever they want and they can scroll through and see whatever they want to see. The beauty of this is all leads will come through your system, will get nurtured, will get followed up with instantly, not waiting the 5 or so minutes to do that. Also, under upcoming events, you could have any kind of marketing that you might want. Maybe it's an open house or a summer craft bazaar, and when they click through, it just asks for their information, as you can see here, where they can complete that, and those leads will instantly go into Advantage Anywhere, launch nurturing, all of those other things that we talked about. Now, I know one of the things that's really happened is in the senior living industry, career opportunities has become a real big issue. So how do we get new potential employees of our system? And we have a career path on here. Again, it's very similar, and it is a place where they can, again, fill out a few items that they can complete and see if they are potentially a good career opportunity for you. Also, another thing that we haven't talked about yet is the share a referral. The share a referral is, how do people tell them about you? It's one thing to pick up the phone call you up and say, hey, I have a referral. But what if you had an online way to capture those referrals for you? It's easier. They can do it in the middle of the night, however they want to, and it's right here. Again, those leads go directly into your Advantage Anywhere. Yes, of course, they encourage nurturing for your automation and do all of that for you as well. The other part that we haven't really talked too much about is the sales chatbot. The sales chatbot is just a way for you to ask any kinds of questions. And again, these are general things that people would generally complete. And then again, at some point, they would schedule a tour. They would let you know who they are, whatever else they want. Again, this whole point is to generate your leads for you. Put them into your system, notify you, encourage nurturing for them, and make that whole thing so much easier for you. There are a lot of third-party sources that will go out and capture your leads and sell them back to you, again, as I said, at a very enormous price. But the reality is they're not getting it from your system, and that's where they kind of have to go to get their leads. So again, all of these, what we call lead magnets or lead generation tools, they all launch the same type of automation and nurture campaign. Each one of them is designed for their own lead magnet. So referrals would get different ones from prospect, those kinds of things as well. So if you'd like to know more about our lead generation or lead magnets tool, go to Genesis Estates, listed at the bottom of this screen, and check out some of those. Find out what happens when you become the prospect. So these are the steps that you can take to capture and cultivate your leads. They are great practical ways that you can engage new leads from your website, from your social media, from email, those kinds of things. I know there's a lot to read through here, but as our free gift for you, just for joining us today, we're so happy you're here, and we're going to offer you a free list of not just these, but other ones that we've collected over time as well. It's a QR code that we're going to have at the end of the day so that you can download these tips. And we're using a lead magnet too, because this is a way of capturing that information and getting you into our Advantage Anywhere. We use our own product as well. So let's talk for a moment about my favorite way, and that is the second most way to increase your revenue and sales. That is increasing the percentage of the leads that you get that will come into that will become closing. So I reached out to one of my second best friends, which ChatGPT, and hey, I asked them, what are the most important things that where leads don't close? What is that? You can imagine. ChatGPT says that follow-up happens is the number one way that leads don't become sales or closing. So let me ask yourself, where do your leads fall within your sales process? Could it possibly be this? If not, I'm going to give you some perspective, if you will, about how sales close. So 44% of leads close after the very first call, 24% quit after the second call, 14% quit after the third call, and 12% quit after the fourth call. So 92% of salespeople quit there. But the reality is, you need 60% of sales that are made after the fourth call. But the reality is, people have so much else that they need to do. So as you can imagine, because of AI, artificial intelligence, and the automation, the game has totally changed. But before you beat up on your salespeople, before you beat up on the counselors who need to follow up, don't beat them up. It's as we have a client says, it's not about the people, it's about the process. Keep in mind that you have a lot going on here. They mean to follow up, but then their phone rings. They get an email, a lead stops by, or hey, maybe you call asking for a report. And before you know it, they wake up in the middle of the night with what we call a oh shoot moment. Was I supposed to follow up with Mrs. Johnson? And what do I say now? I can't remember what I've done so far. I look really bad right now. It's not really what we're after. But updating your CRM is work, right? It takes a lot of time and effort to type those in and to get that done. So what we did is we built the Abby AI. So Abby AI is a voice-driven and voice-activated system. Do you want to see what it looks like? All right, here we go.
Hello, Mona.
Hello, Mona.
This is Abby.
How can I assist you?
Go to
Contacts.
Betty White.
Betty White.
Meetings.
Notes.
Create
notes.
Had a great
conversation with Betty.
And she
is interested in moving forward.
Exclamation
point.
New
New paragraph.
Be sure
and put her on the newsletter list. Period. Save.
What would you like to do next for Betty White?
Send
email.
New
email.
Goodbye, Mona.
Pretty cool, huh? But think about it this way. What if Advantage Anywhere could actually pick up on the words that you say or the words that you type? So for example, maybe if you are doing a tour or a visit or a presentation or follow-up, what if it could pick up on those words and literally automatically send an automation, what we call a workflow automation, that will be based on a tour or a visit or a follow-up or whatever that looks like. That way you will never have to take the time to type your note, pick the automation, and avoid all the time and the distractions that might have happened in the meantime. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, and I'll explain it to you as we go on. All right, so right now we are scheduling a tour. And when we do that, you see in the top left-hand corner, different automations pop up. So a prospect follow-up tour, a tour schedule follow-up, all of those are automations that you could automatically select as part of that lead. So you pick one, and that lead will automatically be started on an automation. I'm going to show you what that looks like, but this is how that works. So now they don't have to finish sending this email, saving it, and then going off and doing it. This cuts out a number of activities that they have to do in order to do that. So let me show you what that task-o-matic looks like for you. So a tour workflow automation is a series of emails and videos and calls and all other kinds of things that happen every time you schedule a tour workflow automation. So these are just not series that happen. These are things that you could apply to yourself as well as to other people to make sure that that happens. So for example, maybe when they first schedule a tour, you might want to have something that says, I'm going to schedule a tour with you. Here's the directions to our office, parking information, those kinds of things. The next one might be to schedule all parties who are going to be involved in this tour, whether it's residents, chefs, anybody you might want. You might want to have an ED send out a personal invitation. I love to get to know you, something that's very automated for them. And again, this is automated. They don't have to do any work. It literally pops up. They make the selections and hit send, and it's gone. The third one is maybe ask the chef to prepare what their favorite food is, or call to remind the prospect of day and time, or prepare paperwork or discovery guides, those kinds of things. And then whatever you might want as part of your tour. So how much time and effort would that save your team? So these people aren't having to be distracted by other things that happen. They've got it all laid out for them, making it much easier for them to do their work. So let's follow up with a crazy busy day that they're going through. They have a lot to happen that needs to happen. One of the things that we say is that your follow-up should happen until the prospect buys, cries, or gets a restraining order, whichever comes first. And we're really only half joking about that. So it becomes really important when you have a lead that becomes what we call a sales prospect. It's really, really hard to track where they're at in the process and how to get them through that next stage. So you might have a sales stage, but how do you work with them to get them through that process? Now imagine you might have many of these sales prospects going on at one time. How do you track all that? So here's my question. What if you had a sales coach? And that sales coach was standing on your shoulder, giving you suggestions on what you should do next for that lead in that sales stage. Maybe you should send a video or make a call with a script or send a special email. You know the lead, but Advantage Anywhere will walk you through all the stages for that prospect in that stage. And when you're done with that stage, you decide how to move them forward. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in real life right now. So we just put them on a follow-up assistant is what we call it. This is the first level. The second level has different items. As you complete one, it crosses them out and it takes you to the next one. So you can never lose that prospect again. And every time you go to that prospect, in this case Brody, it will automatically launch that follow-up assistant. So no one can ever fall through the cracks in your sales process. Pretty cool, huh? So have you ever had a marketing automation gone wrong for you? I've had it happen many times, but unfortunately the story I'm about to tell you is true. In this case, the marketing automation got a lead and it turned it over to the salesperson to follow up with that lead. The salesperson made the call only to find out that the assisted living prospect had passed away. So they made the note in their CRM, but the marketing automation did not receive that message. And they continued to market to that assisted living prospect until the angry family member got mad and said, "Stop calling here, my loved one has passed." Very unfortunate. This is why your automation can never ever be separate from your system. So the next thing I wanted to share with you is how to convert those leads into eventually move-ins and tours. And I'm going to share those with you. We're going to offer you that whole thing at the end of today's webinar. You simply download the QR code and get those. So the next thing I really wanted to talk to you is your third area, which is how to increase your partner referrals. So referral partners can run between 15 and 25% of your new leads. Obviously, there'll be more for skilled nursing than for independent living. And of course, they can come from referral partners, from resident referrals, family members, as well as other third-party referrals. Now, your referrals should be treated just like you do with your leads. So when you get a new referral partner, they should be nurtured, automated, and followed up on just like you would get your new leads. So here's an example of what that might look like. So when you get a referral partner campaign, it could be, thanks for meeting with me. Here's how you can help us. And oh, by the way, here's the link where you can use that. There could be brand recognition emails. Your clients are in great hands with us. There could be testimonials showcasing how well your residents are doing, and comparison graphic and any other things that you might want to do to nurture that referral partner. You don't want them to lose track of you. You don't want them to get caught up in everything else they're doing and forget about what you're doing. Your goal is to make sure that they have brand awareness that keeps in touch with them and lets them know. Also, your referrals should be tied to your prospects. So you can see what referrals are providing leads as well as what leads come from your referrals. So the fourth one that I want to talk about that will help you increase your revenue is to decrease your expenses. I'm not talking about getting rid of employees or staff or anything like that. I think there are lots of ways that you can do that without it. So I have a term that I say drowning in tools and starving for results. And what I mean by that is if you look at all the different tools that are available for you, you will find that there is a ton of tools that are available for you. Obviously, CRM and marketing automation, but video mail and sales cadence and all kinds of other things, as you can see here. These are all things that add up to money out of your budget that happens every month. I don't think you need all that. I think what you need to do is take all of those that you think in terms of decreasing your costs and increasing your capabilities. So if you took all of those, you added them all up, and you tied them to your capabilities, you will know how expensive it is to grow your sales and revenue. And I don't think you need all that. Imagine all that additional money that you're spending to generate those tools and not getting anything really for them. And I think that you can consolidate all those into a few tools that would be very, very helpful for you to help you get there. And the reality is Advantage Anywhere has everything that I just shared with you in one tool. So it's a lot less, decreasing your expenses is a lot easier to do than if you go through and build all these things on your own. So one of the other things I wanted to share with you is how to consolidate your expenses. Again, this will be provided for you here in just a moment. So thank you so much for joining us today on the 2025 Secrets to Community Automation. We sure hope it's been really helpful for you. And now you have some more tools and strategies in your toolkit. So if there's anything we can ever do to help you, please reach out to us. As you can tell, I really love brainstorming to help you work through issues, and I'd be happy to do that for you. Or if you'd like more information about Advantage Anywhere and how to use the automation in Advantage Anywhere, just reach out to us and we will set up a demo with our client care manager. But as I promised you, here's how to access the Chat GPT links to help communities capture, cultivate, convert, and consolidate new leads. So once you click that QR code, you're going to get an automated stream of follow-up. We call them lead magnets because we use our own Advantage Anywhere, even if I'm on this call, because we really do practice what we preach. So before you leave here, you'll have all the accesses and resources that are available to me. If you'd like more of them, you could go to AdvantageAnywhere.com. There are free benchmark reports. There are free how to increase your sales without adding more staff. All kinds of real tools at Advantage Anywhere. So today, I am going to stay on the line if anyone has anything to ask for me. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you have a great day. Take care.